Hey guys, I'm back with another video, and yeah, let's see, quite a short haul, but I kind of still want to talk about it because I'm like, I don't know if I'll get the reviews on any of this. Let's see. The $12.95 sale was going on the past 2 days, but it was online only, but you could do buy online, pick up in store, but there was nothing I really wanted. But then I wanted to see if any of the stores in my area would have the Vanilla Noir candle in yet, which was the last of the vanilla series that I was looking for. So there was Vanilla Romance, Vanilla Ease, and Vanilla Cafe. And then Vanilla Noir is like the men's version, and I actually really loved that shower gel last year. We have it right here. And it's coming back out in body care, but also getting a 3-wick candle. And I was like, oh my God, really? Tickled fancy. So I was like, oh, I really want to get my hands on that. So the same store that had the Vanilla Ease and Vanilla Cafe stuff, I called them up and she's like, yep, they're already out. And so I was like, oh my God, let me go over there. So that's what I did. So we have Vanilla Noir, and that's what that looks like. Ooh, look at that handsome packaging. It has like either black velvet or leather fabric. Ruffle, ripple, wavy action. Yeah, and then Vanilla Noir and the new serif men's font. And then we just have a black glossy lid. $26.95, rich vanilla and bergamot spice and patchouli. White wax and quart wicks, and that's what that looks like right there. And yeah, it smells just like the body care, sure enough. I didn't realize how similar this was to Cypress and Amber. Yeah, wow. I was like, but it has a very similar profile to Cypress and Amber. It has that same smokiness that Cypress and Amber has, and then it has that same sort of sweet, almost like sappy, juicy men's cologne fragrance that kind of leans on the sweeter side. And if you recall, Cypress and Amber was kind of like a blend of like marshmallow fireside smoky amber component mixed with the flannel fragrance. And while I don't think this is exactly Cypress and Amber, wow, it's just like it's the candle that like really made me like realize, okay, this actually kind of has some similarities to it. But yeah, but nonetheless, I still really enjoy it. Yeah, the shower gel was exquisite. And I was like, oh my God, it's like one of those fragrances that actually kind of smell sexy. And so I wouldn't mind like burning the candle to get a similar ambience going in my house. So yeah, that's Vanilla Noir. Yeah, like a smoky vanilla men's cologne fragrance that borrows similarities to Cypress and Amber. So if you miss Cypress and Amber, I feel like it hasn't been out in a hot minute, right? Then check out Vanilla Noir right here. We'll see how it burns and performs. Spoiler alert, the other vanilla flanker fragrances weren't super strong burning. And yes. Okay, moving on. Let's see. It was a BOGO deal, so I was like, okay, what other candle do I want? And I was like, I've been eyeing this one ever since I realized I had a different wick type on it this year around. And it is White Pumpkin, which is a fragrance that I really enjoy, but the performance always leaves a lot to be desired in the past. It is gingered white pumpkin, caramel glaze, and warm blended spices. And this time around it has the rope-like wicks on it. I don't even know if you can see that. And normally as the flat curling ones, they always get like super nubby and crappy mid-range point, and it's just absolutely terrible. I think, right? Yeah. And so I think I haven't seen rope-like wicks on this one in a hot minute, so I'm gonna test it out and see how it does. But watch, it's not like the thick rope-like wicks are any less immune to having a messy, duddy, or crappy burn, you know? That's just the nature of 3-wick candles, to be honest. But one likes to be hopefully optimistic, yes. So, yeah, we'll see. But in any case, it's a beautiful fragrance. I think everyone knows about it at this time, like a heavy, gingered, sort of sophisticated pumpkin fragrance. It's like a pretty pumpkin spice is what it comes off as. Kind of shares similarities to like a spicy like chai blend as well. Very creamy and smooth, but very spicy as well. And it's just quite nice. So White Pumpkin right there. And then let's see, as you guys know, my local store has the hookup, and so I'm at 75% off stuff. So I did a whole, my parents wanted some stuff that they were looking for that was not available in their area. So I bought a lot of stuff, and part of that, they wanted the 'Tis the Season candle for 75% off. But they realized they actually had already placed an order for one online previous. So they're like, okay, we actually kind of don't need this second one. And I was like, oh, well, I kind of actually don't. I was like hemming and hawing whether or not what 'Tis the Season for myself. And it's like one of those that come back all the time, but because they're always available, you never buy them, but it's still a great fragrance nonetheless. And now it's in like the Christmas and July Florida appropriate packaging. I was like, okay, why don't I keep it? So I'm hauling 'Tis the Season right here, and that's what that looks like. Yeah, plenty of Christmas and July stuff at that store. This is the Rich Red Apple, Sweet Cinnamon, and Cedar Wood, white wax and thick rope-like wicks. This was originally called Holly Wreath. I believe the first year it came out in like green wax, and then they renamed it to 'Tis the Season and put it in red wax, and that's kind of how it stuck around all the time. Very, very sweet, like red apple with a slight earthy, almost like a nuttiness to it. And perhaps there is a little bit of like a greenery note in there to evoke that sort of very nostalgic Christmas moment. And it's very much a nostalgic Christmas fragrance. Really no business burning it in the summertime, but could, I guess, start to be appropriate during the fall time. But in any case, 'Tis the Season right there, and yes. And then let's see, I had a birthday reward, so I had redeemed it on the Vanilla Ease hand soap, and that's what that looks like. Look how cute that is. So I picked up the Vanilla Cafe hand soap on the last haul, and I was saying, oh man, I wish I would have picked up Vanilla Ease instead, because the candle I preferred much to the Vanilla Cafe fragrance. And the Vanilla Cafe hand soap is just kind of basic and almost like a chocolate cake type of chocolate vanilla type of way when it dries down. Like, don't get me wrong, it still has like a nice sort of like mocha cocoa creaminess to it that I still kind of appreciate, but just nowhere near as sophisticated as I thought in terms of being like some kind of like cafe knockoff from like the fine fragrance like luxury market, was what I was expecting, and it wasn't quite that. But in any case, so then I also wanted to try the Vanilla Ease hand soap. And so I got that, and this is Lavender Blossoms, Creamy Vanilla, and Soft Cedar Wood, and that's what that looks like. And I have already used this, and I'm disappointed, or bummed to say how disappointed I was when I used it. I was like, I thought for sure this would be the one that I would really prefer over Vanilla Cafe. But this, you know how like sometimes when you use Vanilla Bean Noel shower gel or some vanilla oils just have this weird like off chemically smell to it that just smells like just strange chemicals and oils. This very much had that, and like oftentimes lavender can also give a weird oily quality to it in the way you associate it as like lavender, like massage oil or something. There's like a astringency and a sharpness to lavender, right? And so when you mix that lavender oil fragrance with like the weird just like vanilla oiliness, oh, it was just not the jam. And like in the bottle, it smelled all right, but when I used it, I was like, oh, whoa, like this is actually kind of bad. And then thankfully it has no dry down. So I don't know if the vanilla oil just doesn't translate well in this foaming hand soap formulation, but it was not the jam. So Vanilla Ease right there. I mean, I hate to return a free reward soap and exchange it for something else, but like this is truly so like unpleasant or just so like meh that I'm like kind of tempted to, but I'll probably just keep it and whatever. So that's Vanilla Ease right there. Definitely the weakest. Well, actually, I can't speak for the body care. I don't know how the body care is going to perform, but this is way less juicy than the candle counterpart. And also, spoiler alert, the candle counterpart, once again, is not very strong either. So what a swing and a miss. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I think that's pretty much it. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about. Online exclusives have dropped. Probably like a week ago at this point now, but so many good ones are on there, so highly recommend. Wow. Like Cider Lane is back. If you missed out on Spooky Cider Lane or Cider Lane period, like please just buy it now and get it done with. I can't vouch for the performance. I think there was one year where Cider Lane performed pretty bad and wasn't very strong, but traditionally and historically it has been a really juicy like caramel apple fragrance with a very heavy syrupy brown sugar action to it. So divine, like one of their better and unique caramel apple fragrances, so check that out. Pumpkin Vanilla Creme, which was pumpkin pie originally. It's just truly one of the best pumpkin pie fragrances on the market. Check that one out. Praline Delight is back, and it was in that brown wax the year it came out initially. And then it's back again in brown wax. There was one version of Praline Delight that I bought that was great, and it was flawless down to the bottom. And the second one that I was saving and started lighting up recently has not performed very well. It was like, even though the first one burned down great, the second one is really struggling to pull out, maybe because of the dark wax, so that's no fun. But still a juicy fragrance nonetheless. It was like this, oh God, I don't even remember. It was like this sort of caramelized pecan type of like cheesecake crumbly like action. It was just so scrumptious. It was some kind of dessert. I don't know, reference an old video. I haven't smelled it in a hot moment, but okay, cool. And then let's see what else is on there. Fall Farmhouse is an acquired taste. Fall Festival was kind of whatever for me. That was a one and done. And then Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, despite it being basic, is still an excellent like Michael's craft store quintessential fall experience that I still really have a soft spot for Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin. Cool. Okay, let's see. Anything else to talk about? There was a leather-bound Pages hand soap in the store that really smells like leather. They're really going hard with this leather trend from like the Eddie's leather jacket and whatever the other Collins Return was also a leather fragrance. And then we had that like pink rose and leather or whatever. I mean, it's just yet another strong leather fragrance in hand soap form, and it just kind of seemed weird. It was like I was washing my hands with a handbag, but that existed. There's a whole slew of newly packaged candles coming, but I think the only new fragrances in that are like Autumn Evening or something like that, possibly. And then it's just like a whole slew of repackages that we don't really have to talk about. So there's that. And I think that was all I wanted to talk about today. Yes, some fall stuff still trickling in. So that's kind of fun to keep up the momentum. And yes, and I guess word on the street is that there's not much more. I think Life is on the Page was reporting on her blog that there isn't really any more Halloween stuff coming outside of what's already been dropped for Summerween. So kind of disappointed that the really only new candle we got was Ice Cream Float, which I did not have a glowing review of that recently. And then Sugar Spell Sweets, which is a very generic sugar cookie, sugar cake fragrance. So kind of womp womp on the Halloween, but I still, once again, don't want to minimize the beautiful designs and effort and the work and the gorgeous lids and everything that go along with it. So yes. Okay, I think that's all I want to talk about. Thanks so much for listening to me yap for a little bit, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.